Hey y'all, welcome back to FetchQuest. It's been a while, but we needed a little bit of a break after the very fun, not sad at all session last time. In fact, Carl, why don't you catch us up?
Fun, he says. Last we left off, the quote vampire god Hierarchus. We keep getting different spellings, so I think it's Hierarchus. Was resurrected despite the party's attempt to stop it. And after he literally sucked the life out of everyone in the immediate vicinity, Hierarchus started moving toward us, at which point everyone, Vampire Lord included, decided it was time to get the fuck out. Only 3 of us made it out. We then gathered up Jethra, Noodle, and all of our shit and tried to flee, but were almost completely stopped by new Johnnies under new management. And after narrowly escaping the gates of the keep, we fled and are still fleeing towards Falamir.
The most trusted vampire in existence. All right. So y'all do head towards Falamir's Keep, and as you approach, you do see that there are some Johnnies out on patrol. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. They seem to be like kind of set in their marching forward.
Do they obviously look different?
Not that you can tell. They look like the normal Johnnies. If you'd like, you can approach them.
Nah. All right. Nah, let's wait a moment until they pass.
Cool. So yeah, you guys don't have to wait very long, as they seem very dead set on continuing their patrol in the outer border of Falamir's Keep. Sorry, my cat is staring at me from the ledge. Yeah, so you guys do make it into the keep. You do see there are some Johnnies kind of posted around as in their typical locations inside of the town, but they don't seem to be really reacting to you, and they definitely seem to be normal Johnnies at least.
All right. Just continue on in and head where we know we need to go.
Cool. Yeah, you guys push open Falamir's door, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Cool. And there is the Johnny behind the desk who is kind of scratching away. And they look up. Greetings and welcome to Falamir's Keep.
Oh, good. You're normal. Is he here?
Falamir?
Who else?
Yes, I believe Falamir is currently in a conference. But if you'd like, you can go up and wait.
Of course. And I'll just walk up without waiting for any more responses.
Cool. Going up the stairs. The Johnny kind of takes a quick look, looks up, seems to be the only Johnny that can read a room, and then goes back down to whatever it is scratching.
Can I notice what it's scratching while I pass by?
Make a quick perception check.
Sure. Never mind.
Yeah, it's there's too many like books and papers in the way. You just can't get a quick enough look as you walk by.
Cool. Heading up.
What's everyone else doing?
Following.
Making sure we still have everybody that we haven't already lost.
Yeah, everyone's with you except for Yovan, who was presumably torn apart by
again.
Hyraxis.
I'm gonna be the last up the stairs.
Cool. So you all do make it up the stairs, just as it seems like as you go up the stairs, It does seem like the meeting is at least concluding, because there are some Johnnies that are just like moving their pikes to the side to free up the door for it to be opened. They don't seem like they're going to be opening it for you.
I'm opening it.
Cool. So you push open the doors and you see Falamir sitting behind his desk, and he's kind of nodding and speaking to someone. And Alika, you want to describe your character?
Yes, I would. My character is a leaf individual, kind of on the skinny side with dull brown skin and jet black hair that's cut short. They are wearing a kind of pale leather-looking hat, along with a what looks like traveler's clothes with some half plate under it. Rather simple and kind of utilitarian design. It covers the like a breastplate with some of the arms armored, along with some more armored looking boots. They wear a kind of a yellow and black cloak of sorts draped over like one side of their shoulders like a cape. And at least from the back here, they have a you can notice that they have pointed ears as they're talking with Lord Falamir.
Cool. So Falamir kind of stops mid-sentence and looks up. Ah, if it isn't the lost children of Moroth, welcome back. What can I heard you were arriving in a rather hurried state. Is everything okay?
Do you know what
forgive
happened?
me. Forgive me, I am being rude. This is my most trusted advisor, the Fang of Falamir. And kind of gestures over.
Character is going to turn around to look at the others, and she has rather thin features as well, with the black pupils. Kind of raises a brow as she has a bit of a long scar along the right side of her cheek.
These are the lost children of Moroth I was telling you about. They're the ones who took down Karas.
Oh, so you're the ones who got to him first. It's wonderful to hear some capable fighters this far up.
Well,
Yes.
there is one missing.
Oh,
We have much more important things to discuss, unfortunately.
Well, I'm sure they can wait. Have you looked
No, they
hungry?
cannot. The Lord is no longer in charge.
Oh. What happened to the Lord?
I would like to insight check.
Yeah, go ahead.
God damn it.
He seems genuinely interested in what happened to the Lord. He seems a little bit surprised. But yeah, you can't tell much more than that. He his face is like stone.
The tasks he was having us handle involved... Do you know what's underneath the keep there?
I am well aware with what is beneath.
Well,
the
he
keep.
revived it. And it killed him.
You helped him revive him?
We didn't know what he was doing. And then we tried to stop him before it finished, but it was too late.
Well, then you are very correct. We cannot stay here for very much longer.
No.
I have to ask, what were the people inside being herded or outright slaughtered?
They were being herded as far as I could tell. The Johnnies inside the keep were changed, none like yours at the moment, and were keeping people inside.
That is worrying, but not so much as if he's not slaughtering everyone inside, then he probably has a plan, which means he's not going to outrightly rush out. Which means we have a little bit of time. I recommend you get to know each other. We will be leaving in 2 hours. I shall have carts and the such prepared. He stands up, nods, and leaves.
I'm going to wait for him to be like out of the doors, and then just kind of more relaxedly lean up against his desk. This is just, I've never quite seen him so shaken up before. I take it whatever this thing is quite bad.
Are you a drow? Is it what you were describing?
No. Dull bronze.
Okay.
So kind of like that tan color.
Can I tell if it's half-elf or elf?
Half elf.
I prefer you didn't refer to party members as it.
Oh.
Way to start off on a good foot with the new party members, Vaughn.
Where are my manners?
I mean, I'm not saying it out loud. It's in my mind.
She is going to reach up and give a tip of her hat to the party. It says, Francisca Almenara. It is good to meet you all.
Definitely spelled that wrong, but whatever. Quite. Zon Mesveric.
Zverik. Very prominent family, if I recall.
You are correct.
Dalmakos, the Grey Castle.
My.
Gar all day. If we're doing the first name, last name thing.
Well, 3 nobles from Moros. You're quite a long ways away.
Not for long, hopefully.
Hopefully, indeed. So, what is it that you're all running from, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, you know, typical fallen keep things like a long sleeping god vampire that threatens to kill every single one of us. Not to mention the huge army of drow to the north of them that threaten to kill every single one of us.
That is quite the problem. Indeed.
Quite.
You're not a very talkative bunch, are you?
Not at the moment.
More worried about getting out of here. We did just lose a party member back there.
I see. My condolences. It's never easy to lose a friend.
If you wish for me to talk, since you are so well inclined to ask, do tell why you are working with Falamir.
He pays quite well.
Not surprising. But what are you doing for him is more an accurate question.
Well, a fang seeks targets, does it not? When Falomir has someone he needs help with, I assist. Sometimes when he needs to get a read on someone, I assist in that as well. And on very rare occasions, I provide some merriment and entertainment.
Can I tell that he is a sword bard?
I mean, you can assume it. It's not
Okay.
like Francisca's really hiding it.
I will say that they have like a scimitar at their hip and
Yeah.
like on their leg is like one of those like holsters with like a couple of daggers in them.
Yeah. Sancho's doing his inquisitive marshalling up. Right. Well, keep that weapon handy, because you're probably going to need it very soon. If you're planning to stick around here.
You make that sound as if we have a enemy that is right outside the gates.
Well,
As I-
they're only a few hours away. And if they plan to chase us, then you'll be in the crossfire.
That does sound quite promising, I have to say. What type
I
of
can
enemies
trust
are
you not, it is not promising at all. You do not want to face this creature.
I suppose you are right. You seem a seasoned warrior who knows his things or two.
Quiet.
At that moment, there is kind of a tap against the, like a butt of a spear against the stone floor. When each of you kind of turn, there is a Johnny who does announce, Lord Falamir has acquired rations and food and drink for those who are thirsty and need a bit of a rest. We shall be ready to leave in about an hour and a half.
Wow, a half hour has passed so fast.
I mean, it's more like,
always long.
I mean, it's more like they're fucking worried about whatever was in the crystal.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I will head over to where the Johnny is saying, and I'm just gonna follow without a word.
Johnny's just standing there.
Well, where does he want us to wait?
Johnny gestures down the stairs.
All right, and I'll go.
Okay.
I will follow.
I will
Okay.
follow as well.
Excellent. And Kara, I assume you're bringing up the end again?
Yeah, I just realized we forgot to introduce Jethra, but
That's
if
fine.
Jethra wanted to introduce herself, she could.
No, Jethra is very frightened at what's going on. Has gone back into her old not speaking self.
That's fair. I
And-
would too.
As you walk by Kara, the Johnny kind of leans over and goes, "Hey, it's me."
Oh, you got out! Oh,
Don't tell anyone.
God fucking damn
are you coming
Tell.
with us?
The rations would be outside. And the Johnny kind of nods and goes, "Remember, rules are for fun." And he kind of walks deeper into the estate.
Okay. Right. Well, she said don't tell anybody, so I'm not going to tell anybody. Go
Fantastic.
join everybody else. I'm not going to remember which fucking Johnny he is.
Right. He looks like every other Johnny.
Until they all burst into green flame,
And then
I
we'll
don't know which one the fuck he is.
Maybe. So you each go downstairs. Kara kind of dawdling about behind a bit, and when you do exit out the front doors, there's a table set up, and it does have rather quickly prepared food. It's nothing really special. It looks more to be like just some really quickly cooked meat, mainly ration bars that are on the table, along with some wines and water.
Zahn takes none of it and sits down.
Fair enough.
I am taking a glass of wine and a ration bar.
Noodle is going to town on
the table.
pretty much everything on one side of the table.
I was gonna start feeding him if he didn't already start eating,
That
because I can't eat any of this.
That
Valimir
is
can probably smell the new baby vampire on me, so.
I'll take a seat, but not have anything yet.
and just is kind of just staring at that. The dragon, which she doesn't know what that is, just eating all, kind of just raises a brow and then
Gesture
looks
to
towards.
Gesture to Noodle. This is Noodle.
It is good to meet you, Noodle.
Just completely ignores you. Too focused on eating everything, and I mean everything.
What is it?
He is a dragon?
Pardon?
He is a dragon.
That's a dragon.
He's not. He's not fully grown yet. But he is a dragon.
Uh-huh. Okay. Francis is going to reach behind her, kind of under her cape, and pull out a kind of a simple citron musical instrument, and just pluck a few notes. Not just practicing, getting it in tune.
Excellent. And Jethra, taking the lead from each of you, is just sitting at the table. She's not really eating, drinking, or doing anything. She looks more shocked by anything else than, yeah. Anything else when you guys want to do while you're waiting for the caravan to be loaded up?
Hold on. I think I can hit die. I don't remember. Nope, never mind. My max HP is still 60.
Yeah. All right. So, about an hour and a half passes up before Johnny does come out and motions for you to follow behind the keep itself, where you do see that there are 3 covered wagons that have been loaded up fully with oxen. And this Johnny leads you over to the middle wagon, which it seems to be more like a large room inside of it, with a small like miniature bookshelf in there, a small table, sort of a lit lantern on the table. Falamir is sitting in a chair reading a book, and there is a coffin that is behind him. And it's sort of like covered. I mean, it's obviously a coffin, but it's like covered with almost like a throw rug, as if he thinks it'd be rude showing that.
Coffin table.
So, I have 3 wagons. He's not even looking up from his book, just reading 3 wagons, and go split yourselves up however you'd like. We'll be leaving in 5 minutes.
Which one are you going in?
I'm sorry?
Which one are you going in?
Oh, this one's mine. You each split up between the other two.
Would it be wrong of me to ask that I accompany you in yours? I wish to discuss what we saw.
I can have the Johnnies make up a cot for you.
Sure.
So he kind of snaps, and some Johnnies get to work, kind of hastily putting together a small cot for Zahn. And he waves his hand at the rest of you in an offhanded dismissal as he turns that into just flicking the page of his book.
As I pass by once more into the thing, can I try to see what he is reading?
Oh my god.
Make a are you walking, because he's kind of sitting towards the front of the wagon where you guys are walking into the back. Are you walking up close to him, or are you trying to see from where you are?
I mean, I'm just doing the sort of side eye walking past him as he's reading to go towards the back that I'm entering into.
No, so you guys are coming up to the back, and here's where Falamir's sitting.
Oh.
Like,
then I'll
towards where
act
the
like
auction
I'm
are.
sort of passing off the rest of the party to their carts, and then I'll try to read it before
Make a
heading
perception
back to
check.
mine. Decent.
That's not bad. It does look like he is reading a rather adult novel.
Oh, glad. I'm so glad he's taking this very seriously.
But rather quickly, there is a cot supplied in his wagon, and even another chair for you to sit in, and it's sort of near your cot, which is closer to the entrance of the wagon, which is in the back where you came up.
Cool. Then I will do my weird roundabout without saying a word to the rest of the party as they go to their other carts, and I'll head back to mine.
Cool.
I'm going
All
to
right.
cart 2.
Cart 2?
How big are the insides of these carts?
So when you walked into Falamir's cart, I mean, they look like regular sized carts, but Falamir's definitely was bigger on the inside than it looked on the outside. When you check into the other two carts, there's enough room for 2 people to be comfortable inside of them, a third person to be inside of it, with like minor annoyances, but after that it's going to get a little bit crowded.
I'm gonna go to the third one because I have a dragon.
There's 3 carts. The first one is empty. The second one is Falamir and Zahn, and he doesn't really seem like he's interested in sharing with anyone else. I'll just give this one to you. Didn't really seem like he's interested in sharing with Zahn. Didn't seem to also come up with a reason why he wouldn't share with Zahn. And then the third one is what Francisca went to.
I'll go to the first one.
Cool.
Make sure Jethro gets to a cart.
Jethro's just going to be following you.
All right. Jethro's gonna come with me to the dragon cart.
I will go with Francesca.
Cool. So everyone is split up, and the cart begins to go underway. Because we're each split up into this, what we're going to be doing is setting up where travel will go on. If you'd like to discuss anything during the traveling, just let me know. Otherwise, we're going to go to each point where they're going to stop and rest for the night, and presumably the party meets up at around the campfire.
Cool. Obviously, I want to talk to Falamir when we're in the cart together, and he's not obviously ignoring everything around him.
Sure. He does seem rather engrossed in his book. So he doesn't really seem like he is going to be sparking up any conversation.
All right, well, I guess I'll do that. How much do you know about what was under that castle?
Only really what the Lord would permit me to know. There was a being that he referred to as our God, and that it was going to be our salvation.
Well, I and my party knew a little bit. Well, we didn't know, but we were able to find out once he was back with the realm of the living about him.
Oh? He's flicking another page in his book.
His name is Hyraxus.
I need you to make a perception check for me, please.
Yes, indeed. Damn it.
Cool. Yeah, he's just reading through, flicks a page. Is that name supposed to mean something?
Well, I had hoped it would, but obviously not. How much of Velirine do you know?
I know it was once a great city that fell to some sort of turmoil, as all civilizations must, and that most of what we have that is extremely magical items come from there.
Well, the Fallen Keep was right on top of it.
Hmm.
And Hyraxus was one of its more prominent people.
So he sealed himself away to do what?
He wasn't sealed willingly.
There's that.
Others sealed him.
Well, there's that inner turmoil.
Yes.
So they sealed what? The king away and destroyed the civilization?
It's hard to tell. The things we know are not well documented and rather convoluted as it is.
Well,
But we know he was sealed by another couple prominent individuals. And obviously for a reason.
well, he then kind of carefully slides a piece of silk in between pages of the book, closes it, puts it right next to the lantern, and kind of leans forward. Why don't you share your information with me, and we'll see what we can figure out.
Insight check so hard, please. I'm using my fucking channel divinity.
You give yourself the +5.
Oh, hold on.
Roll
Fuck.
20. Just
I don't think I have it. Hold on. I don't know. 1 second. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to have only one, but let me make sure.
I think it's one used for short rest. Which you did technically take a short rest.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, hold on 1 second. Let me find it real fast, just to make sure that I'm actually correct in what I'm thinking of. Okay, yeah. One use. Short or long. Okay, good. I do have it. So +5. Insight. 16. Still not great.
So, the very fact that he shut his book and leaned forward tells you that he's very interested in what you have to say. He doesn't seem. He seems very eager for you to share information with him.
What are you going to do with this information?
What does anyone do with any information? Probably write it in a book, stored away in a library for someone to find thousands of years after it no longer matters. Or just hoard it to myself.
That doesn't seem like you, though.
Primarily, you have an issue, and we have a long cart right ahead of us. Might as well help each other out.
I guess so. Why don't I do this then? Let's call it, this is our favor to you.
This could be one of the favors you owe me, yes.
Of course. Then fine. Well. How do I start?
Well, from the beginning. And I'm going to assume that you and him talk about. Just go ahead and send me in a private message about what you bring up, like what you choose to share with him and all that. Yeah?
Sure.
Excellent.
Sure.
And I'll send you back what, like, his thoughts on the matter. Let's go ahead, hop on over to someone else. So we have Kara and Jethro and Damakos and our new best friend who's definitely not suspicious in any way. Who would like to go next? Unless you'd rather skip to the campfire meeting.
I'd probably be trying to strike up conversation with Damakos.
Sure.
So it's glowing still.
Who is glowing currently?
Yep.
Just sitting there, kind of finished tuning my instrument, set it aside. Just like, so how are the Grey Castles?
Oh, I mean, as all right as Grey Castles are. I honestly haven't been home much lately.
Ah, that I can understand. I have not been home in quite a while. Going on a bit of a journey to find myself, you see.
Those journeys can indeed be fruitful. But they often turn out ways you don't expect them to.
You can say that again. It's been a while since I've been back to Kel. It'd be nice to go back there someday.
So you're from Kel.
To be honest, I would have thought the regalia would have given it away. And she's gonna she's gonna pull over her cape, which is which has a kind of large beast emblazoned on it. Kind of looks like a T-Rex that Kara turns into, but a little different around the body and near the back part, where it looks like there's a stinger instead of a tail. We Knights of the B-Rex do good work wherever we can find it.
And apparently that led you up north to here and in the employ of Falamir.
Well, when you've been around the same place as long as I have, you end up growing a bit sick of it all.
Of that I can entirely understand.
There wasn't anything for me back where I used to patrol, so I took up more of a wandering position. Wandered my way through Moroth for a while before filtering my way up here. I think I might have run into a Grey Castle at one point. But that was back on the kill side of things. And, well, I very much doubt he'd be around anymore. That was some 40 years ago.
Do you remember that name or what they looked like?
I know they wore a mask. They weren't really interested in much. From what I recalled, they more or less just came to hire some forces. They weren't quite impressed with the B-Rex, decided that the Griffins were more of their flavor.
Does that sound like anyone in my family I would recognize goes out wearing a mask, especially outside of Moroth?
Your father is not the most open person. It is very possible that he would have asked your brother to do some tasks for him in Kel, or hell, it's even possible that he himself would have gone. But I mean, when it comes, you don't really know your
Considering that timeline, like 40 years or so ago.
right 40 years ago. Then it wouldn't be your brother. It'd most likely either be your father, potentially your mother, or another member of the family that, for some reason or another, you haven't been introduced to.
Gotcha. Well, shouldn't be a surprise that half the time Grey Castles are secretive even with their own family. If you met one along the road, then chances are it could have been one of my family, relative. It's hard to say.
Understandable. I don't know half the people on my mother's side of the family. It's hard to keep in touch when there are so many barriers about. Listen to me prattling like an old woman.
Namikos is just going to stay silent thinking about that information. Not even a care in the world that he is glowing.
Fantastic. So, Car, is there anything you wanted to discuss with Jethro before we go on? Cool. So, we go on to the. There's a travel for about, for a standard day, and then there is a brief stop. The caverns do go up to sort of a protective circle. Am I saying caverns? Caravan is going into a fucking protective circle. God damn. And all travel is stopped. It seems to be sort of a about a midday break. It's been a few hours since day has dawned, and Lord Falamir has excused himself to his coffin. So as they do stop, Johnny does come on board and stand directly in front of the coffin, as if to prevent anyone from going close to it.
I want to insight check that, Johnny. I don't trust any of them now. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Johnny.
As far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not spouting green flame or anything.
No, I'm more
I know.
not worried about that one. I'm worried about the other one. Whatever.
All right, so
Sitting around, I guess.
there does look to be ample shade in this area that it doesn't really seem like there's much direct sunlight piercing through the leaves. It does also look like at some point the Johnnies did leave the normal path and started leading the caravan into sort of a secluded area, like almost a secluded path inside of the forest.
We've taken a long rest at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want my fucking health back.
Actually, that health was dropped by Hyraxis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your health is still down.
Okay. 60 max right now.
I have more health than Zahn.
I
5
assume
hit points.
lesser restoration is not gonna work on that, so great.
Actually, let me take a look at my notes. Do you want to try casting Lesser Restoration?
I mean, I guess, since I assume we're hopefully not gonna get into any fights anytime soon.
Fuck, I need to keep my notes in one spot. Let me check right here. 1 second. I believe that's a high. What level is Lesser Restoration?
Lesser restoration is only a level 2 spell.
Yeah, then it's not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, figured. If I upcast it, even though it does nothing extra, will that make a difference?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Alright. Cool. Just 66 health points gone.
Yeah, but no one can fucking hit you. Like,
I mean, that's not true either, but alright.
I'd say that goes for everyone who I don't remember exactly who was hit by his attack. Damikos, were you
I
hit
was
by it?
literally the only one, I'm
The
pretty
only
sure.
two that were down there are Zahn and Joven, and one of them is dead. So
For now.
A lot of my
I
health
don't-
was taken off by blood magic fireball, so that was it.
That's fine.
Can I
Cool.
do a medicine check to see if this is something that needs to be cured magically or just with time?
Yeah, go ahead, do a medicine check.
Sure. Thank Christ I roll well once.
So this kind of draining, it seems to be almost limiting your body's ability to produce blood. Throw me an Arcana check as well, please.
Okie dokie. This is gonna be one I roll bad. Yep.
I mean, it's definitely magical in origin. It looks like this isn't just going to go away on its own. It's going to need magical
Okay.
cleansing.
That's all I really needed to know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So caravan stopped. You guys are free to mill about the campground, which has Johnny's guarding it.
And it's just Gianni's, right?
As far as you can tell.
Literally, he didn't bring any of the villagers. He's just like, I'm taking all my Johnnies. I'm just leaving.
As far as you can tell, that's pretty much exactly what he did.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we're just milling about unless anybody wants to do anything.
I was gonna see if I burn in the sunlight, but it looks like they're purposefully in a shady spot. So
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
there
do
are
you need to
some-
ask that question?
yes, I do.
Would you like to experiment with that possibility of death?
Listen. I have more health than you right now.
Oof.
Well, not for long.
I also have disintegrate back. So
Is that a threat?
Yeah, I mean, what,
no, that was just
what
a
is that?
statement.
What's that?
That was just a statement. I don't have any sun spells anymore because why the fuck would you need sun spells as a vampire?
I mean, because we're still fighting vampires. I'm going to use daylight. I hope you know.
Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be great. Fantastic, even. Definitely won't have any ill side effects. But there are some spaces near the campground where like the trees do part, and there are just like giant the beams of light. I think people call that. I heard Jesus holes once, but I don't think that's the proper term for them.
God rays is the term you're
There we
looking
go.
for.
The Jesus holes.
Jesus holes.
To be fair, Jesus had quite a few holes.
He did have a lot of holes, more than the average
Oh.
person.
Okay. Let's
I'm-
move
but
on
yeah.
from that.
There are some god rays that are like piercing through the trees and leaving enough sunlight if you'd like to test.
Fucking believe in the gods. I'm just gonna stick one of my fingers like into the edge.
Sure. So you stick a
Like,
finger
right.
into the edge and you do feel uncomfortable. Like it is uncomfortably warm, but it doesn't really seem to be damaging you much more than that. It doesn't seem like some would say curse, some would say gift, has really taken enough of a hold on you yet to really cause you to be damaged by the sun for now.
That's good to know.
In other news, fire is hot. Placing my hand into a fire.
You take 12? No.
Fuck off.
Cool. So anyone want to Anyone want to talk about anything, or you just want to mill about until time to leave?
I'm watching
Mill
all
about.
of these new strangers.
Kara, back there in the keep before everything happened, if you wanted me to scry on someone,
Now I'm paranoid that she never left. So, if you
Ooh.
could, well, this is a good thing to test if it still works because I don't know if I fall under that classification. Oh, and I showed you what floor looks like when we were asking Jethra.
Yeah.
yeah, I know what she looks like. Do you have something of hers, perhaps?
Would a note work?
Don't know.
All I have is this letter that she sent me. She told me she was going to the beach. I'm gonna pull out the letter Florian gave me and like hand it over.
Yeah, would that work? A note?
I don't think a note counts as personal, especially if
It says a likeness or a picture, which we have a likeness.
you do have a likeness. The note unfortunately doesn't contain any pictures,
A
and
possession or garment.
I don't think it would count a possession, even if in the off chance that she didn't actually write it, someone else wrote it for her, which is a common thing about nobility.
Kara writes her own shit.
Yeah, because Kara's always been paranoid. I mean, not as much as now, but
Definitely not as much as now, but I don't think I have anything else of hers.
That's fine. It should be fine. All right. So I pull out the orb and begin to cast Scry on Fleur. Yes.
Or
And are you doing some little campsite? Like, are you doing this in front of our new friend or no?
she's staring at us. I don't think we can escape her.
Uh,
I mean, you can go into a cart.
I mean, gonna find out one way or another. We might as well just.
Fair enough.
Rip the band-aid off. Let her know
Yeah.
how weird we are.
So,
That is a concentration spell, I think. Let me check. It is.
since it's being cast through the
The
orb,
orb.
and it was, you know, the thing we discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're fine. Actually, you know what? Also, roll the thing because it was a long rest.
It was a long rest. Okay, I'll roll the thing.
Cool. So in the meantime, Francisca,
Yes.
boom. Francisca, you notice that Kara and Damikos seem to be like discussing something. Damikos pulls out a dark orb and starts staring into it, and the orb just gets darker and darker and darker.
So.
Let's see what fun
I
thing
need
that has.
wisdom saving throw. Yes.
I'm almost there.
Hold on, let me. Yeah, wisdom saving throw, but my modifier because of I have secondhand knowledge because I've heard of the target.
I love this one, by the way. I need you to describe it.
I'm gonna look it up here. So whatever roll you make has a +5 to it, but
Okay.
then a -2.
So overall +3. Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go look at this freaking thing that's gonna.
And what's the DC?
17.
So you're taking a look through here, and eventually the spell fades. It was unable to reach.
Cool. I mean, at least I can take reactions again.
Very true. Cool. And let this shifting begin. So, Damikos looks
after I do the casting.
Oh, of course, after the casting. So Damikos, you get nothing from the sphere.
Damn it. I can't seem to locate Fleur.
What? Okay, I'm just going to hope she is home where she should have been. Instead of out in the forest. I appreciate you trying, though.
Of course.
Oh, okay, never mind. Cool. Cool.
So after I cast that, my arms just kind of do this weird like meh. Yeah, flop around.
Are you?
I regain control of them.
What is happening? Are you okay?
That's interesting.
Thank goodness Zod isn't here to watch this.
I'm gonna walk over. Just head tilted as I watched the.
I mean, is this out in the actual camp?
They made no attempt to hide what they were
Oh,
doing.
I mean, I'm watching. I am not
If you
interacting.
If you squeeze his arm, is it like too soft?
I mean, it feels like an arm.
It's like an arm.
What is wrong with your bones lately?
Lately.
Like, first your legs, now your arms.
No, first was I couldn't talk.
That's not a bone.
Are you two all right?
Oh no, never. I have never been all right since I got back to this fucking country. Even before that, God.
Okay then. Is that normal thing that happens to him? You have point to Domicos.
Nothing is normal.
No, that is the first
Nothing is
that has
normal.
happened.
Hang on. Maybe. She's going to pull out the instrument she had. Going to
And finger of death, Thomicos.
hang on. I think she's gonna strum a bit. No, maybe a little.
Like those inflatable
Adjusting some of
cars.
some of the chords, tightening, loosening a few.
At one random point, one of my arms is gonna just reach over and like make a strum at his.
Oh, it's still happening. It's still happening.
It's just gonna interrupt one of the strummings.
Yep.
Oh, God.
She's just gonna look to it and then look at him,
I'm sorry.
and she's going to strum like all of them, and it kind of the music seems to echo out a bit, and she's just going to cast Cure Wounds on Domicos to see if that stops his flailing arms, assuming it's some form of injury. Now I have to look up how much Cure Wounds does.
I'm at max health right now. So.
I know.
Yeah.
She doesn't know. She's just assuming that's the only explanation for you.
Gonna fuck with your spellcasting so hard.
For right now, his arms are not moving on their own.
Well,
Just kind of.
they just randomly.
Yep.
Right.
It's a sign of some
Have control over them. They just randomly do.
Oh no.
golden light kind of flips out from her instrument strings as she strums it all, and the music echoes, and it kind of coalesces around Domicos. She's like, "Any better?"
Smack the instrument.
My other arm is gonna like reach across me uncomfortably and just like flat right on his head or her head.
Like,
Yeah, like,
having the
good job.
Okay, did not work. Well,
So
I
is
tried.
it like randomly, as in he has no control randomly?
From the distance that you're sitting around, it's either he's fucking with them a lot.
Oh,
or
I
he
know he's not
really
fucking
doesn't-
with him.
He doesn't. It doesn't seem like he has control. These movements
Oh, good.
seem to surprise him.
Well, I guess fuck semantic components then.
That should be fine.
Nope, it
So-
won't be. But okay.
That's what subtle spells for.
Well, he's just gonna use all of his sorcery points on subtle spell. That sounds like a good idea.
Oh God. I was gonna say we have 12 of them, and then I remembered you're multi-class.
Yep.
Nope.
9 of them. Let's go.
Not
Way
to
to
mention,
put
I'm
the
pretty sure
defense
subtle
away.
spell takes a bonus action, so fuck bonus action spells and fuck doing everything in your action.
Perhaps it's best if we keep our distance, yes? At least arm's length.
It'll be fine. Worst I can do is that.
So, the fuck? So after a brief point, like after all the huddling around, marveling at Domika's wonderful new useful ability, um, the group does eventually separate again, and Jethra comes up to you, Kara, and kind of sits down next to you, and just doesn't really say anything, but she is kind of like absently scratching the top of Noodle's head.
Oh, good, they're buddies. This is probably a lot to take in.
I just wish Joven was here.
You and me both.
Well, so I know Zahn said not to use it, but that candle, it said it grants wishes, right?
Yes.
I mean, couldn't we? It doesn't seem right.
Things like that have a cost, though. As much as I would love to just wish that he were here, we don't know what it would cost us.
Everything has a cost. He died so that we could escape, and he can't even. It's not fair.
I know. If we're lucky, he'll pop up in an abandoned room somewhere. If we're not, he will chase us through the woods.
What?
That's what. Oh, right. You weren't. This isn't the first time we've lost Joven.
Well, like, then we need to bring him back even more. Then I don't want to. What if he's stuck somewhere? Like, look, I know that really powerful magic can be tricky, but if we word it out just right, then nothing can go wrong, right?
I can't have that spell.
What?
There are ways to figure out what it does, but I do not have access to that kind of magic.
Well,
Without setting it on fire, there are ways to find out what it does.
it grants wishes, doesn't it? It told us what it does.
It can tell us that it grants wishes just the same as the host can tell us, oh, yeah, you are the chosen few. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. And they could both still be lying.
Well, she kind of looks down at her hands. I guess I know things have a cost, and I know magic isn't always good. But if you think we shouldn't,
Even if we could, even if it does grant wishes, even if we could wish him back, I don't know if he'd want to be back. I mean, I'm sure everyone would like to be alive still. All of the people we've met would still like to be alive, but
well, what if we asked for him to come here? Maybe he didn't die. Maybe the vampire god just has him in chains somewhere. If we leave him there, then we're doing nothing to help him. If we just bring him here, it's either going to be his body and then we can bury him, or it's going to be him, and we'll have rescued him from being in chains for saving us. What if he's being hurt right now?
as much faith as I had in Jochen, I don't think anyone survived that. The only reason we're still alive is because we ran. And if he's still alive, we can check. We can have Damocles check. But I'd rather not light an item we know nothing about. Other than it says it will grant us wishes. We don't know anything about it otherwise. It's too much. It's too much of a risk. Especially with everything else going on right now, being chased. The werewolves in the woods.
She kind of does a slow nod and just goes back to scratching Noodle. All right. Anything anybody else wants to do?
Zahn is sulking, and no one's approaching him, so he's gonna sit there.
So, quick cursory glance around the camp shows everyone kind of interacting with each other, and Zahn sulking by himself. He definitely doesn't. He doesn't look like he's recovered much. His skin is still pale. He's still a little bit more gaunt. Definitely doesn't look like he's at top performance right now.
I'm going to approach Zahn. Just
Well, specifically, as you walk up, he does have a short sword in his hand.
how's the trip been faring you, Miss Ferrick?
Great.
I don't have much of a baseline to tell that he's all gaunt and stuff. I met him afterwards.
That's very true. This could very well just be him.
She's gonna think for a moment on our words. How are you holding up?
Great.
You know, there's no reason to put on a brave front. We're about as safe as we can hope to be. You don't quite look great, nor sound great, if I'm completely honest.
Sure. You want to know? Then sure. We came here to rescue one person and left without another on my call. Through some sheer act of dumb luck, they somehow survived the first time they died, and then I let it happen again. And now I feel like shit. Because a dumb fucking asshole decided to sap everything out of me. So yes, I feel like shit. Now I have a vampire god and an army of drow that march towards the south that threaten everything that I have known my entire life. Not to mention, there's a fucking voice in my head that keeps telling me I need to find some sword to kill some crazy bitch that somehow destroyed a civilization, and no one wants to tell us anything about said civilization or why it happened or what happened. All we get to find out are through dreams that don't make any goddamn sense. Not to mention, there's another one who says there's some timeline fractures, something to do with bullshit regarding fractures in time that we are seeing through memories and dreams and all sorts of other bullshit that I can't understand and no one knows either. So yes, I'm doing great. How are you?
A lot better than you, I can say.
Fine.
That's sorry.
How loud is he being?
Very.
I assumed it's on. Went from 0 to 100. Like even some Johnnies who kind of stopped and looked over, and then seeing that there was like nothing to get worried about, they just continued their patrol.
You said you were zapped by a vampire?
Yes.
I can offer sympathy for the loss of your
Wow, that'll help a lot.
situation. However, for your physical ails, consider this a show of trust. And she's going to reach into her pack and pull out a small diamond. She's going to I don't know if I have to touch or not, but I am going to touch it to Zon's forehead, and I'm going to cast Greater Restoration.
Instant relief. You
You actually have it. I was waiting.
you feel as good as you did before walking down to face Hierarchus, and your veins, you can feel the blood pumping through your body again.
Right. I will pay this back.
Consider it a charitable act. Sounds like you've been through a lot.
It's fine. I just have a lot to deal with. And I have... As he looks over to Noodle Arms and Animal Wrangler.
Hey, it's only one. It's only one. The other one was a hand.
That killed itself on your watch.
We don't know that.
Well, it's gone, so...
We don't know that either.
I have a lot to deal with, and individuals who need a lot of guidance.
How long have you been traveling with those two?
I don't know. 4 or 5 months now, I assume. Not very long, but long enough that I know they would get nowhere without me.
If I may give some advice, one night to another night, if I may presume, cherish them. As irksome, as irritating as they can be, they are more than likely the closest thing you have to friends.
I didn't say that. I just said they need a lot of guidance.
Some things don't need to be said.
Audible eye roll.
Now, if you excuse me, I have some practicing to do. She's going to reach down and pull out about 3 of the daggers. And she's going to walk over and take a seat. And actually, no, she's going to be standing and just start practicing juggling.
Even louder audible eye roll.
Cool. Anything else anyone wants to get done? Maybe someone wants to yell at someone else.
If I turn around, do I see her juggling daggers?
Yeah, she's just juggling daggers.
I am immediately looking at what Noodle's doing with daggers out. Like, we all know.
Oh,
Noodle's with
Noodle is almost mesmerized by this.
oh yeah.
She's just humming as she's juggling.
Be careful with your weaponry. He's already started a horde. But also, before I fucking forget, because someone decided to yell our entire journey. You have any tattoos?
No. Mother wouldn't approve.
Insight check from
check.
across the camp.
I didn't participate in that, even though.
Go ahead. I love that there's no trust for anyone.
Not
Is it
when
roll?
that sort of question comes up.
Okay, pop through. Take it as you will.
She is, as far as can be told, telling the truth.
I mean, my mother would
Either
also probably.
Fantastic
fuck you.
liar.
There's one way we can figure this out real easy.
Oh my god!
Ah.
Please don't strip search the new
Don't
party member.
don't do. Granted, my mother would also murder me if she knew I had a tattoo at one point, but it's not exactly a voluntary thing.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to divine sense.
Sure. A lot of fucking undead.
Well, yeah,
Just right off the bat.
that's obvious.
Kara's paying as undead. You got undead like all the Johnnies. You've got a strong undead presence coming from the cart where your best friend is, and
Well, I'm mostly worried about the whole consecrated or desecrated thing, because I assume that will ping off of anything that, like a holy symbol, that has been tattooed onto someone's body.
you just get yours.
Okay. That's all I needed to worry about.
if you have a dream where you are in a banquet hall and a masked man offers you like a tattoo, don't fucking take it.
She's just gonna raise an eyebrow and just be like, "Oh, why not?" She's gonna catch all the knives, just hold them in her hand.
I mean, I imagine you would want to like keep living.
It feels like a threat.
Keep living.
Nothing. No one that has died under the service of the host has stayed dead. But they're not exactly alive anymore either. So you might see them while we're on the road. Heads up. Giant wolf and skinny fighter with two voices, but
I've been up here for a while. Don't remember hearing mention of a host among the vampires.
I don't think the host bothers with vampires. Are you a vampire?
No.
Insight check.
Oh my god.
Does she have...
God, make an insight check. God, you guys are so paranoid.
Can I hear this from across the camp?
They've gone into normal speaking.
Okay. Well,
We're not
I mean,
loudly
I assume
declaring
this
everything
camp
we say.
isn't like very loud, but or very
It's not
large,
very.
but
If you'd like, you can make a perception check.
sure. I mean, I'm only doing it so I can scream at her and tell her not a vampire. No, all right, never mind. I'm busy.
The whole quest Zahn was screaming at you about, it's from the host, and it's not a sword, it's a dagger.
Ah,
But we do have to get her sword eventually.
Yeah, point of correction. The dagger that you guys currently do have with you, I believe you kept it with Jethro.
Yep.
It is a dagger of anti-magic. The weapon that you're looking for the host, to kill the Arkmir, is a sword.
We are gonna kill her with the sword?
I mean, if you want to.
Oh, we have to kill her with the dagger.
you know, I'm simply a half human, half elf.
Okay.
This host person doesn't really sound like a warrior. Huh?
He's an asshole. He's probably one of the biggest assholes I've ever met.
Ah. And you say this dream that he tattoos with is like a contract?
I don't remember ever agreeing to all of this. You're offered a mask in a dream, and the next thing you know, some gigantic fucking being is asking you to hunt down someone that should be probably long dead. But weirder things have happened.
Sounds like the type of contract that a self-respecting warrior would not think twice of breaking.
Hmm.
At least in my personal view. I've been
trying to get rid of this fucking tattoo for ages, and I think it's gone. I can't check.
well, congratulations. Breaking the contract sounds like it's a good step in the right direction.
Hopefully.
I've worked with too many people who have not had the honor to take care of things with themselves.
All right. So with that, this resting period does come to an end. Would you guys like to skip to about where entering Moroth itself?
I want to bring up some more stuff with Felmir before we do that.
Sure. Okay. Anybody else want to do anything, or
I want to see if he can give me a brief rundown on how to be a vampire.
sure?
I don't know.
You didn't get the
anything.
handbook?
No. I'm pretty sure JJJ ran before he could give it to me.
Oh, poor JJ.
You mean the VHP?
Oh my god.
So, yeah, let's start out with Zon, and then we'll have Kara talking to Falamir. So this is going to be over a few nights on your way back to Moroth.
Yes. So, how do you suppose we deal with this problem?
There's a lot of problems that are coming up. So which one?
Well.
You're going to have to be a bit more specific.
Specifically, the one that's closest to us right now being an elder vampire deciding he might want to destroy all of humanity and such.
He was no elder vampire. The elder vampires tend to decay into what you presumably fought. They don't, and it takes a very long time for one to decay as much as that one had. It's something more. Has to be something more. If your description of the fight was accurate, then it fights like no other vampire that I've ever met.
Yeah, so how do we deal with that?
I'm figuring something out. I don't have I mean, at this point we may just want to go with the Lord's plan. Point him at the north and let him take care of that issue. If they don't manage to convince him to go after us.
Right. Would more resources help?
They definitely could. And I believe that you were on some sort of time frame, like you had to get back to Moroth in a certain time for something.
Yeah, that was what I was about to bring up. Well, not exactly how it's supposed to play out, but how I plan to have it play out. There is opportunity to unseat power within Moroth currently. Our political systems are quite barbaric and arbitrary, which I do hope to change, but having the entire Morothian kingdom at my disposal would be much greater use to finishing off these potential world-ending problems.
Well, having one kingdom is definitely a help. What about others? Have you considered approaching Kel?
No. But that's something to think of much, much, much later. One problem at a time, it seems.
Absolutely. So, you must kill the current ruler of Moroth. I'm not too familiar with Moroth's succession. Do you
The
have
one
to be
who
the one
kills
to...
him. Yes, the one who kills him. Or concedes the seat to that person. To someone once they have killed them.
So, you're planning to either kill the current ruler of Moroth or convince the person who does end up killing them to give you the throne?
More the first option.
Well, I could help in this matter, and it would be less of a vague favor you'd owe me in the future, and more of a promise to dedicate some resources in my direction.
I can agree to that. It'll depend on what you plan to actually use those resources for, but we can discuss that once we have those resources to delegate.
I also do not think it would be wisest for mine and Kara's situation to be as well known.
I didn't plan on it either. That is another problem that needs to be dealt with on top of it.
And I shall require lodging.
That'll be easy to come by. I have a large enough estate, you'll have plenty of places to stay, and really no one should bother you.
Perfect.
In any case, if you're on board with that, that's all I really needed to know.
Of course. You killed the ruler of my country. Why could I not help you kill
Well,
yours?
Your god killed the ruler of your country. I tried to stop him in his hubris, but...
Oh, I don't blame you. Personally, between you and me, I feel like the Lord should have died a long time ago.
I had the feeling. What were those letters you had me send?
Oh, they were instruction. Hold on, 1 second. They were instructional letters for some of my allies to be prepared in case the Lord disappeared or in case I had to approach.
Right. Any word from those allies?
We prefer not to. We communicate as little as possible.
Right. Alright then. Beyond that, we should be preparing, I assume, once we arrive.
Absolutely. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I would enjoy next stop, maybe speaking to another member of the Lost Children of Moroth.
If that's what you wish to call us, sure.
It's not what I've been calling you, it's what the stories have been calling you.
Ugh. Right. Don't remind me. That's it. He just stops
Cool.
talking at that point.
So, next stop, I assume that he and Kara swap out. And did anyone want Damocus to scry?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's dead, but if Jethro wants to.
Jethra's not going to be pushing anything. If she pushed for one thing, it was shot down, so she's feeling a little self-conscious.
If
I
asked,
don't know what the wax ball does.
Good things.
Good thing you're never gonna see it again.
So any scrying? No?
I guess I will try to scry on. My older brother.
Cool. What is the DC? Like, what are the mods?
Well, I know the crap out of him, so. So -5 to his modifier, or to his roll.
So a -5 and any additions, or is it just a total of -5?
I mean, I doubt I have anything of his or anything, so. I mean, unless I still have some of his blood from the tree, I don't know.
No, that would have been gone long by now.
Yeah, so just the -5 to whatever he rolls.
Cool. So you look into the orb and focus, and you are what does it show you? It just shows you the thing, right?
It shows me. I can see and hear through the sensor as if I was there. It moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet of it for the duration. I can see like him immediately and like very minor things around.
Cool. So, through the orb, you see your brother lying very still, arms crossed over his chest, and he's in a very dark location.
He's a vampire. Am I able to tell, like, I guess I can't tell if he's like, well, I guess I would know that if he was dead, it wouldn't target him. So,
Well, I mean, not necessarily. Does it say that it can't target dead people? Because I don't believe it had that limitation to it.
No, it just has to be on the same plane of existence.
Yeah. So he could be dead. And like as you focus, you do see that he is surrounded by wood.
Okay. Cool. I'll tuck that in the notes of. Yep. Okay. That's what I scry on for the moment.
Cool beans. What?
For this day, I'll send you a list of the others that I'm scrying on.
Nice. Okay, so next few nights come up. Kara and Falamir. Falamir is back to reading his book. Doesn't really show much interest. It's the same cot that Zahn was using in the same chair. So he's just sitting there, flicking through the pages of his book.
I'm guessing there's no instructions for this, is there?
No written ones.
I already know I don't burn in the sunlight yet, but it is a little uncomfortable.
Right, you're a child. You haven't grown into your full self yet.
Yeah, that's the part I'm worried about.
Oh, don't be. Once you get to a certain threshold, you will find that there's more benefits than things you regret.
So do I have to sleep in a coffin also? Or is
No, I do it because I enjoy it. And because it's tradition. You can sleep wherever you want. Have you had any trouble sleeping and not being in a coffin?
not yet?
Good. You don't have to be in a coffin. Um, but I enjoy it. Oh, he reaches near his coffin and pulls out what looks like to be a small stone circle and tosses it to you. When you catch it, it's icy cold to the touch, and it looks to be more like a stone water skin, and it is hollow on the inside. That's for storing blood.
That was going to be my next question. I don't.
It doesn't store it for too long, though. These are not like the ones we had back at the keep. It can only store blood for like I believe a week.
Is that about how long I can go in between? I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this.
I prefer to make it quick. Do not linger. Although lately I have been, drinking what's been given to us, but I suppose that will have to change. Um, do not. There's. It's going to disgust you at first. It's going to shake the still human part of you and make it hard. But you need to push past that. It's because if you don't drink, you'll go into a frenzy and kill everyone around you until you've fed enough, or you die. Kind of like how I assume the vampire god came out. There hasn't been much of talk about that.
It's like watching the world's most terrifying egg hatch.
I imagine so. And you lost Joven.
We did. But.
I liked him.
Me too.
Tell me, did you come across anything in the Fallen Keep? Anything extraordinary in nature?
I'm not sure JJJ can be classified as extraordinary.
I don't believe so either. But I'm not speaking about people, even if a journalist can be given that term. I'm speaking more of a. Did you find any objects of an extraordinary nature?
Not personally, no. We mostly got what was given to us and kept what we had when we went in.
He's gonna take a good look at you and then go back to his kind of open his book back up, start reading through it again. Well, can't be helped after all.
I'm not telling him about the monkey paw. Fuck that. We can't even get it back. Zahn has the bag.
Well,
that's all I wanted.
It is a shame you ever had to go. Have you heard the situation that's happening in Moroth?
Which one? There are many, always.
There are many. I've only heard there's some dissatisfaction with how it's being run.
So that's what Zahn was talking about.
Well, Zahn was primarily talking about your travels so far. Um, you've lost a lot of friends, and I'm deeply sorry for that.
Do you mind if I ask what exactly he told you about the dissatisfaction with our queen?
Well, he mentioned that he himself was dissatisfied with the policies, but it's really less of what he told me and more of because he's not really the type to share. It's more about what you can read from a person, and I have people occasionally go through Moroth and they hear things, and it isn't right that such a refined place be ruled by such barbaric and outdated customs.
That I agree with.
So, judging from the information I've received from the few that I've spoken to about Moroth, it seems that it's time for a new regime.
Really depends on who gets the final blow.
That is the question. Nazan did mention to me that you were going to be facing against the Queen, but he didn't mention. He mentioned also that it was who killed the Queen became ruler, but he seemed very prepared for this battle. Which, I mean, it is going to be a difficult battle. You will be fighting against the ruler of a kingdom. Are you prepared?
I have a few more things I still want to do. But this isn't for him.
Of course not. It's for you.
I like traveling too much to really settle down and be a ruler.
No, I completely understand. And what easier way than to ensure that whoever is determined to be the better ruler is the one to kill her? You do not need to worry about my advisor struggling for this. She would wilt under being queen and would deny the role if given. I don't. Essentially, what I'm saying is you may need to make some difficult choices. But on to brighter topics, we have lost a lot of our kind. A lot. I just wish there was some way we could make more. But alas, vampirism doesn't spread through biting. At least it didn't for me.
How did you get vampirism?
I was born this way. In my time, there was a plague that would affect newborn children. I happened to be one of the ones that collected the plague, and, well, rather, my mother did. And I survived where she did not.
I was bitten. But the elder is dead now, so.
Which is why you are not under the elder's control.
He could control people?
Well, from what I've read, in theory, if one was able to spread the bite, spread vampirism through the bite, it could be very similar to the spawn, except more controlled. Because the vampire spawn themselves are little more than rabid beasts. But to think, to have someone's complete, unwavering loyalty. Well, it's getting close to daybreak, so I'm afraid I must rest. I'll leave you to it. And he gets into his coffin and shuts the lid. And so, next up, so we're going to go through, we're just going to go through the rest of these scries. The last one you mentioned doesn't go through.
I figured as much.
Yeah, I figured it was a
It was
given.
just worth a shot.
The one on your dad fails to go through.
Cool.
The first one you mentioned, what's the DC for her?
So you want me to just raise the DC by the modifier, or you just
Yeah, just go ahead, take care of the DC by the modifier.
Trying to think if Damokos would have anything in possession of that individual on him. Probably not. So just that's a 22 modifier or DC.
She looks to be taking care of business at home. Doesn't really seem to be any more. I mean, she just seems to be living normally.
Okay.
Cool. And then for mom, DC for mom, never mind. That's so bad. You would literally have to basically not know your mom. She actually seems to be getting ready for travel. She seems to be packing, not very hurriedly, almost like she's about to go on vacation.
Okay.
Let's just do sister. I'm assuming checking on her too. Jesus Christ. Also packing. And younger brother.
Packing. Yeah.
I just rolled 3 4s in a row. Your brother is not paying attention in a class lecture. He seems to be like sort of just doodling random things into his notepad. Just roll for
Okay, so he's not paying attention in class.
Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't look like he's really doesn't really look like anyone's in danger. But you can't get your dad or the other person you wanted to check on. Perfect. And anything anybody else wants to do before we do arrive at Moroth?
Think I'm good.
We're all good?
In preparation for it, I'm just going to pull out my mask.
Excellent. And as we approach the large gates of Moroth, we are going to end tonight's session. thank you all so much for joining us for another week of FetchQuest. We'll see you next week. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Wear your fucking mask. And yeah, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to Twitch. Anything else anyone wants to promote? No? All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe.